All right. So where does Halloween come from?
Okay.
Is that a different question than we already did?
Yeah, it's a different question.
Okay.
Because, all right, you're going to have some that are going to go straight up say Halloween is rooted in Catholic tradition.
Okay.
Okay? Because it's All Hallows Eve. That's where the word comes from. Okay?
It's got to be.
So therefore it is rooted in Catholic tradition. Okay? And so I'm going to read something here from a couple of Catholic priests, if that's okay.
That's Twitter.
You
liar.
It's just people reposting things. I do go on Facebook and they repost stuff from Twitter, so that's kind of where I hang out and live. All right, so this is what the individual says. So this is a priest. He says this is when he's saying this. 2 weeks from today is Halloween. Halloween is rooted in Catholic tradition, but it's not a formal Catholic holiday. Its name derives from All Hallows Eve, the evening before All Saints' Day, November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
A Catholic solemnity honoring all saints, known and unknown. All Saints' Day is followed by All Souls' Day, November 2nd, dedicated to praying for the faithful departed in purgatory. And together these days form part of the liturgical calendar's focus on the communion of saints and the afterlife. And he goes on to say that in the 8th century, Pope Gregory III established All Saints' Day on November 1st. Likely, and this is where it begins to move a little bit, likely to Christianize Psalm-like practices. And we're going to get into that in a second. So All Hallows Eve emerged as a visual to prepare for this holy day. So, all right, so let me pause right here, okay?
Okay.
So this is this Catholic priest's understanding of it, okay?
Okay.
Others will say, no, there is not like a Christianizing of any kind of pagan festival. This is just what was established by the Catholic Church, okay?
Oh, okay. Like they did it by
first.
themselves.
Right. So this is what has, they established this.
Because they have to do everything first.
In the 700s. And this is what was established by the Catholic Church. So the roots go back to the Catholic Church when you're talking about Halloween, okay? And then they will say, okay, but then over the period of time, things have gotten commercialized. Other groups have tried to hijack the holiday, that kind of thing, right? All right. Now but then he goes on to say, and I think this is interesting, he says the origins of Halloween blend Christian and pre-Christian traditions.
Okay.
It's often linked to the Celtic festival of Samhain, marking the end of the harvest and the start of the winter, when the veil between the living and the dead was believed to be thin.
What does that mean?
Okay, and so during this festival, and there's another argument of like, when did this festival actually begin as well, right? Like some of it dated way back, like 2,000 years ago. Okay, so even like before Christianity began,
okay,
others will mark it later than that. Okay, but for this purpose, if it started, let's say 2,000 years ago, okay, that's maybe when it started. But the point of the festival was that it really did mark like the end of the harvest season. Okay, all right, so and so in this point where the end of the harvest season, starting of winter. And they really believe that at this time, October 31st, like there was this kind of time where there was a mixing between the spiritual world and the natural world.
Who believed this?
It is a Celtic tradition. Okay.
Okay.
And so
were they Christians?
No.
Oh.
So they're not Christians.
Okay.
Okay. And so they believe that during this time, the dead would actually like come and live and walk among them. All right,
like the Mexican holiday.
Like celebrating. In some degrees, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, not in some degrees. Yes, there was a lot of overlap between those two. Okay. And so they actually really believed that the dead would come and like walk among them. All right. And so that again, that line between the spiritual and the natural just blurred. Okay.
Okay.
Dead were allowed to come and walk among them. And so this started all kind of traditions out of this. This, supposedly this is where the idea of a bonfire came from, because they would actually light bones on fire and create fire with bones and like sit around it, and believing that would keep the evil spirits away, because the dead weren't just walking among them like innocently. There were some that were walking among them that were looking to actually, do something that was either evil or troublesome or cause mischief. And so the idea was, we need to keep these spirits away from us. So we light bones on fire, hence bonfire. Okay.
That makes perfect sense.
They would even dress up in costumes, believing that if they did, that they would be disguised. And so that the spirits would not be able to identify who they were.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where the idea of the costumes came from. All right. And so this festival is, so for some individuals,
that person's not alive. That's Spider-Man.
Right. That maybe today's version of it to some degree. But that's kind of like so that idea of the festival was this idea, again, of the dead walking among them. And as it kind of continued to progress, all kind of traditions came out of it. Okay. So for example, families would have a dinner together, and they would leave a chair, actually, or chairs, multiple chairs, like empty, and they'd have a meal. And yeah, and it was for the dead to come and have a meal with them, and they wouldn't say anything, they wouldn't do anything, like nothing, and they would just come have a meal with them, and it's supposed to be like their last meal before going back to the realm of the dead. Okay. They would get to do this every year. All right. They get to have one meal, I guess, with their family, and then go back to the realm of the dead.
Dad, why is all the food still there?
Right. Okay.
Festival over.
Right. And so, and then there was other things where this, like the ideas of like trick or treat, like we see a little bit.
Okay.
Like where they would actually, so they would go to houses and they would have to do like a trick. They would have to do like they'd put on a play, or they would, like the kids would, like put on a play, those kind of things, and in return get like a treat. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so there was like that aspect of it.
Why don't we do that today?
I don't know. And then there was another.
Make kids do dumb shit for us before they can give them candy bars.
Right. Well, actually, and this is again the blending of it, because actually in the
you're gonna have to mow my grass. That's the ritual.
That's the ritual. No treats.
No treats until you do it.
Right. And so, but this is like where the Catholic part kind of like bleeds into it a little bit. Not bleeds into it, but like there's debates over like, did these things really happen? How much of this folklore, like that kind of stuff. But the idea of, okay, so children would actually go to a house, and they would actually ask them to like pray for the dead. Pray for their family members who are dead in purgatory. Okay, because more prayers.
Oh, so now we have to do stuff for them.
Move people along in purgatory quicker. Okay,
never mind, I'm out.
And so, like they would pray, and then the kids would receive what they called like soul cakes. Okay, so it's like their treat. All right,
a soul cake.
Yeah, and so it was their way of getting a treat. Others, like there's other traditions.
Is it like fried chicken?
It wasn't fried chicken. It was something that was baked that was
collard
sweet.
Greens,
right? And the idea was, if you didn't give them if you didn't get them a soul cake, okay, you didn't give the kids that, then your house would be cursed. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was like it was a big deal. But then there's other things where like when I said before that the kids would come and put on like some kind of play or whatever to receive something. Well, there's the Catholic tradition of it or it's found at least within some Catholic traditions where they would come or I say some Catholic traditions, in some areas within the Catholic Church, probably a better way to phrase that, where they would come and like actually like be dressed up as saints.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they would actually do like some type of kind of Christianized play, and then they would receive treats. Okay. So you've got all of these kind of things that are overlapping when we talk about the history of Halloween and like where did it come from. So
it came from whatever side you're on.
Yeah. So right, and in the sense of there's like the pagan tradition that's like, oh, Halloween came from this pagan tradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the other side of nope, Halloween came from a very Catholic rooted tradition. Okay. Like the individual that I was talking about before, he talked about it as like a blend, like it really kind of what we have is like a blending of those two traditions.
Okay.
And that's really kind of more accurate to what it is. And so
we should take it on. Halloween came from the one I heard this podcast.
You think that's the move?
Yeah.
I mean,
we should do it.
I'm not against it.
We win.
We win.
Yep.
That's fine.
You have to listen to our podcast all day.
All day.
Otherwise, you don't get your
candy.
Right.
That's
yeah.
I'm good with that.
Otherwise, you can't go trick or treating.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Because we're definitely not providing the candy for everybody.
No.
Right. Like, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Be upfront about that.
Everybody else can give it to you.
Right. Right. But it won't be us.
Yeah. And you have to mow my grass.
Okay. You do have to do that for us.
Yeah.
And we may give you like some like water or something like that, a glass of water.
Yeah. But it's dead water. It's water. Yeah.
Like if you drink it,
yeah,
you might be dead.
It's pressed out of the soil from cemeteries.
Oh God.
After a heavy rain.
Wow. That's pretty intense.
There we go.
Wow.
I win.
You won something. Okay. Yep. So I think and then I think the way that we see Halloween now, the way it's most often viewed or seen in our country, this like commercialized part of Halloween, has some to do with maybe both of those traditions, but it really isn't. It's not that anymore, right? It's not this festival, this pagan festival, and neither is it All Hallows Eve. Okay. For people who are dressing up like Spider-Man or whatever and going and just getting candy, they just know they get to dress up like their favorite superhero and go get candy, right? Yeah. Like that's all that there is to it. And so it's actually pretty separated from those other two things. So I think anytime we discuss Halloween, it's like, well, are we judging Halloween or talking about Halloween from like its origins or from like what it has, presently become?